In case you're just joining us, we are halfway through with Njeri Migwi, who is, I don't want to murder, oh sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I don't want to butcher her right position, but she is a co-founder of Usikimye organization, which deals with everything that goes against human rights. And we are hearing her story, how she got here, what she's doing, and hopefully what the future looks like. Wow, Jerry, you know, it's so hard to like debrief. You know, sometimes we joke so much, even with words, and I have to catch myself, for instance, yeah? But I want to tell you a little personal story that might encourage you. In 2019, I was also, you know, everybody's story should be validated because it is their story.
It is valid.
Yes, and I was going through a horrible time in my life. And in my head, I kept saying, in another 5 years, I'm going to break ground with a safe center where women can just come and hide and be. And my dream was so big. I was like, it's going to be a luxurious place. I had the colors. They were gray and pink. And I think seeing you here today, you don't know how much you've inspired me to rethink about what I had planned in my head. But then it's also the first time I came across safe houses with your program, and I looked at it and I was like, oh my goodness, this looks way harder than I imagined it. But it's amazing to see somebody doing something I could only dream about. So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Really. All right, so as Usikimye, you run different arms of it. There's the rescue, there's the following up with the law, there's a feeding program. Could you just maybe unbank for us, like just let us know what is hidden, because yes.
Yeah, I think most people think it's just the rescue work that we do.
Yes.
But running an organization that actually does work around gender-based violence is, you have to think prevention.
Yes.
Before you even go further, you have to think, how do we prevent?
Yeah.
How do we ensure that this doesn't keep on doing? So going back, you remember the thing I said about safe houses?
Yes.
And opening safe houses. I made it sound so simple, and it isn't.
Yeah.
You will be very shocked that running a safe house will also now put you in places that you never also thought.
Yes.
So we have safe houses. And what is a safe house? A safe house is a refuge. Let's just put it correctly.
Yes.
It's a refuge.
Yes.
It's a place to run and hide and just collect yourself and heal, possibly.
Yes.
It's a short-term stay. Now let me put it that way. It's a short-term stay.
Yes.
I think that is what most people don't understand, that it's a short-term stay. And when we opened our first safe house. We didn't understand that women needed to stay for a certain time, that people start being entitled, that also when you are in a safe center, you're away from the abuse, depending on the kind of abuse that you've been through. We've had cases, and I'm talking about more than 10, where somebody has had a psychotic breakdown.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They were okay. Now they're safe, they're healing, they feel safe, and their body just decides, you know what?
Shut down.
So you find yourself, I know Madare in and out.
Gosh.
You know, so those are the things that people don't get to see, the behind the scenes, the things. So in the safe house, we provide accommodation. We provide food, obviously. We provide clothing, which is donated by a lot of Kenyans of goodwill. So asanteni sana wa Kenya. Thank you for holding us, and thank you for Usikimye. I say Usikimye is by Kenyans, for Kenyans, and they've been very supportive, so we provide that. But the most important aspect is we provide psychosocial support. Because part of the reason, I see a lot of people saying, why do we, but alichapwa, but alirudi, but the thing is, you need to understand that GBV is a cycle. Yes. All right? There's an active cycle, there's a honeymoon phase, and there's a tension stage. So I need people to understand that when it is the active stage is over, where you are beaten, you are abused, you are injured, you went through all of it. There is a honeymoon stage where the perpetrator apologizes and makes good on his word, and things look rosy. There's no way you're removing me from that marriage when things are good. I'm getting flowers, I'm being told, I'm being taken, you know, all these things, holidays and so on and so forth. They become very hard for you to leave, and people don't get it. So I need people to understand. Then the tension stage starts after the honeymoon, back to the active, back to...
Yes.
In fact, the most dangerous time for women to leave is in the active stage. Yes. It's the most difficult and most dangerous, because sometimes that's when they get killed. Because the perpetrator realizes you want to leave.
Of course.
And so they're willing to kill you.
And that happens all the time.
So now the woman has left. Where does she go? I want to make it clear, where does she go? We are not in a country that is accepting of daughters coming home. And when you're asking, why do women not stay? I need us to also ask ourselves, how many of us are willing to take our children back?
Thank you.
Because most of us are not.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And I find that most women don't have a place to go.
Yeah.
And God forbid you don't have a job.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you are relying on your spouse for something. Your options get more and more limited. We're looking at a place where sometimes sending a woman back to up country where her brothers are, and maybe she had even gotten land, is actually sometimes a death sentence. We saw, as part of the femicide cases, a woman was killed by her brother. Yeah, she was killed by her brother. Yes. And so you find that even going back home,
it's not an option.
It's not an option.
Or it's not a safe option.
It's not a safe option.
Yes.
So that's part of the reason why safe houses are there.
Yes.
But safe houses, again, are temporary spaces.
Yes.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
And you need to, in
find
those 6 weeks, is find your way. We do not have the funds to tell you that we will give you this and this. Sometimes we have something that people have given us, like, say, a seat here and there, a table, and any for you to start over. And one of the hardest things is, how do you start over if you have nothing? Right? And so I will cautiously say, as women, and I know this I'm not excluding men from this conversation, but I'm talking to women, because in the latest KNBS studies done last year, 1 in 3 women, those statistics are a bit scary. I may need women to be saving a little bit.
Yes.
Yes. I used to hear women being told, hi, put a little aside. Yes. And I used to wonder, what are they talking about? Why are they saying this? But now, with everything I have seen, dear women who are listening to this program and who will be talking to their friends, because one of the beautiful things about being women is we talk to other women. It's true. Please save a little for a rainy day. I'm not saying I am a firm believer in a healthy, communicative marriage. I am. I know most people look at me and think, you know, homebreaker. But I am a firm believer that marriages, good marriages are there, good marriages work, but marriages require health. Be in a healthy marriage, communicative marriage, away from abuse. And if you're going through abuse, start saving a little. If you get 20 shillings, save 2 bob. It's okay. But save something. You never know when you need it, because then where do you go? If you can't go back home because parents don't want. One of the cases I dealt with in 2021, I think, was this girl. She went back home. Her mother gave her fare to go back to her husband. Oh no! And she was like, "If I go back there, he'll kill me." So she took her 2 babies and walked into a dam and drowned. Oh no. And I do not want to hear cases like this. They devastate me. There's part of me that dies every time a woman is killed. Because I'm like, this is such a senseless death. These women should be here. We should not be talking about 52 women in April. We should not be talking about that. So every time a woman dies, I feel like a part of me dies with them. Because why are you dying? Love is not worth dying for. Nothing is worth dying for. It's nothing. Yeah, so she walked into the dam and she died. And we find that most times we are so afraid of our kids coming back home because we assume society will see us as failed moms. But then they don't factor in, you could be a mom to a dead child. Rather a divorced daughter than a dead one. But we are looking at dead children now. So we need to do better. So again, save a little. Just for your rainy day, especially in situations of abuse. If you can, I'm not saying there's a possibility that you're also financially abused. Chances of you being physically abused and financially abused are very high.
They go hand in hand.
But if you
like
can,
this,
do that. So that is our safe house. course, it's in secret locations.
Yes.
It's a good place. They relax. They tend to let loose.
Yeah.
And yeah, we even have rabbits for babies.
Oh,
A library where you can
yes.
read and unwind. And now we know the how what goes into running. Inside the safe house, we have girls who, when we rescued them, they were teenagers. Yeah. And unfortunately, and I'm going to talk to, again, remember the way I said women save? I'm also going to talk to mothers.
Yes.
And women who have children. I may need you to prioritize your children sometimes. Yeah. It can be that you're prioritizing the man that defiles your children over your own child. So we find ourselves with 13 girls who can't go back home because their mothers are upset with them for accusing their husbands. And we've gone to court, the case is in court, and they've told these girls categorically, you can't come back home. So they stay with us. They go to school, they're teenagers. We had one who finished last year and we had to reintegrate her. And let me tell you, it took the intervention of the police and the chief for her mother to accept her to come back home. She's finished Form 4, right? We've taken her through education, she's finished Form 4, and her mother doesn't want her.
Yes.
So some of the things we see, and I'm talking about mothers across class.
Yes.
Across class. That if your child says they're being abused, I may need you to believe them.
Yes.
I'm going to need you to believe your child. Because children are being abused under our eyes. We are not believing what they're saying. And these children are growing up as broken adults.
Exactly.
We can't have a generation of brokenness. So I may need you to believe, I need you to believe your children. And I need you to talk to your children. And I need you to speak to your children in a language and in a manner in which they understand.
Yes.
Because there is a language for every part of a child's life. So I may need you to do that. Yeah, so that's what is in a safe house.
Yes.
The other program we run is a feeding program.
Yes.
Why a feeding program? Our office is in Soweto in Kayole. And the reason we went to Soweto is during COVID, a lot of the calls were coming for defiled children were coming from Soweto. And I was interested in understanding. So we opened an office there. And when, you talk to the kids, because, you don't just wake up and take a kid to hospital. You talk to a kid, hey, nini nilikufanyikia baba, nilifanyikia mami, anakuambia, alinipe chapati, they give me this, they give me that. And we narrowed down to 99% of these cases being food.
Oh, no.
Being food. So most of the predators were luring kids with food.
Yes.
And we were like, what if we give food? We only were planning to give uji. So we did it as a one-time program. And now, as it is, we've served over 1 million plates of food.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. It's free food. There's no charge.
Yes.
We've spoken to the nearby schools, and the amazing thing is, one is the kids stay in school. Yes. Which is good. It was an unforeseen thing, but it happened. So the kids get to stay in school. Yes. And number two, other than the kids staying in school, a lot of kids are not being predated. Where we're getting a case every day. Yes. You're getting a case every 2 weeks from within now the community. Yes. So I feel like that has lowered. It has not changed entirely, but it has lowered. Yes. And also, I see a lot of people when they come to town, or in urban centers, and you have these kids who we call it doer. They're asking you for money. Yes. Give me. Yes. These kids are sent by their parents. Yes, some of them come from the communities in which we serve. Yes. So that we negotiated with the parents, and I told them, listen, if I'm giving these kids food, I do not want to see kids from this community going to do that. It's called duru, going to do duru, doya, duru. I don't want to see that. Otherwise, I'm not going to give your kids food. Yes. And so that has reduced, because what happens, again, a lot of times, kids are vulnerable. Yeah. And vulnerable kids tend to get abused. Of course. And so some of those kids are taken advantage of by adults. Yeah, kuja kwa gari and a child is raped. Do this, hapa kwa kona, kwa corridors of town. The back corridors, and a child is raped. So, so we have managed to eliminate that. So that's beautiful. That's wonderful. The other thing is sending children for food. Poverty does not afford anyone dignity. And you find that some of the things,
Yeah.
before I went there, how I used to think and how I think now is two very different
Yeah.
things. I understand the frustration of a parent saying, kila mtu atoke kwa hii nyumba aende akuje na chakula.
Yeah, yeah.
So by giving that food, we are ensuring that we are countering
Yes.
sex for food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why we give food. It is actually a mitigation
Yes.
of the work. It's a mitigation of the work we do.
Yes. Yes.
And it's very important. Yeah. So we have a feeding program.
Yes.
We have women empowerment programs.
Yes.
And we have different categories. One is every Saturday we meet at the social hall in Soweto. About 200 to 400 women, depends. And these women have gone through financial literacy training.
Yes.
You find that in the lower income side of the story, even though we serve mostly Kenyans, but our office is there. So if we're going to change lives, we're going to start those lives are there.
Yes.
So we do financial literacy, we train. And now we have a saving culture.
Yes.
So we have a table banking. So we call it saving, internal saving in London.
Yes.
So you save where you are. You can afford 10 shillings a week.
Yes.
You can save
That's
it.
yours, yes.
So we save, and then you grow your kitty, built by trust. And from that kitty, we are able, right, to give them small loans. To open businesses. And I feel like that is very important. And I cannot even, sometimes it is 300 to start selling watermelon.
That's it.
Buy a watermelon, buy a door and a knife, move.
It's true.
Help you make soap.
Yep.
This soap you can go, I mean Soweto is large, Kayole is big.
Yes.
If you go to maybe 10 big flats, maybe 10 people will buy that soap. Your kids will not sleep hungry. So it is doing it in the micro, at the micro level.
Exactly.
And it's been quite successful. I think in the next 2 weeks or so, we are starting a fresh batch of training with our work. And we're teaching the women briquette making, urban farming, and baking. So that's a new. The other time they had learned how to make power uji. So we train different cohorts of women, and we hope that somebody will have an uptick. And see what they can do to change their life. Sometimes that's all you can do. So now from those women, in the community you find that, you see the way I talked about therapy for myself, and it made sense. But do you ever think that also the women in lower income settlement also need therapy? How do you do therapy in a manner and in a language where they do not feel like you're being condescending to them? So we created, my co-founder is a mental health expert. So we, with the help of Oxfam, we were able to co-create a curriculum meant for the community that actually targets the women in the community to be able to do therapy without it looking like it's official therapy. You know, a therapy that is made and aimed for the people at that level. So we do that. We have trained 240 women go through therapy. I've sat in those therapy sessions, and it's you and me having a talk. There's just a therapist in the room, you know, just to make sure that it doesn't go into gossiping. So they're able to debrief each other, able to learn how stress looks like, how it manifests, because how stress looks like to you
it's not the
could
same
be
way.
that your car was auctioned. And that isn't something that will give you high blood pressure. But to her, it could be that the landlord not only closed their door, I mean their house, but went with the door. You know, because that's how it works there. Or you know, it was so bad because you were not able to pay now. He carried his iron sheet. So now the kids are being rained on. So their stress is different. So they need to understand that stress is not for wale watu we see on TV. It's also for us. This is how it looks like for us. And this is how it manifests. Maybe you're a man. Because of that, you went to sell your mandazis and you burnt them. And so, and we do it in their language, in a language they understand. It's not in English, it's in Kiswahili and Sheng, the curriculum. So they're able to do that. So that's part of the work we do. And you find that we do a bit. Then, of course, we have free counseling services in our office that anybody can walk in, and we get a lot of that. People walking into our office looking for help. And sometimes you wake up in the morning, you come to the office and you find a queue of people waiting for service. So it's a lot.
It is.
So we have that cases. So we make sure that we're very trauma informed and gender sensitive about things like that. But my best program is the library program.
Okay.
Yes, on Saturday afternoons.
Yes.
Us, the kids, at the social hall.
Yes.
We read for fun.
Ah.
We read to enjoy.
Yes.
Just for fun.
Yes.
So in the library, we teach them how to play musical instruments. I'm hoping and I'm planning because I do host Slam Africa, which is a spoken word event.
Yes.
That I can bring in poets who can teach my babies poetry.
Yes.
So I'm hoping to make it more vibrant.
Yes.
Get people, because I'm a firm believer that you asked me, what can people do?
Yes. In fact, that was how I wanted us to wrap up. Like, how can people reach you? What
there are
can
three
they
things
do?
you can give.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Your time.
Yes.
Volunteer it.
Yes.
Come help feed the kids.
Yes.
People ask me, how do I volunteer? Come to the office.
Yes.
Hear what we do.
Yes.
And see where you can plug it.
Exactly.
Right? I can't tell you how to plug in. But you can come to the office, look for us.
Yes.
Usikimye is on Google Maps. You can't get lost. If you're in a matatu, a lighter Jacaranda guard, Jacaranda, take a boda.
Okay.
That boda, just tell them you're going to Usikimye. They know us.
Yes.
Or to the people that give kids food.
Yes.
They will bring you to our office.
Yes.
Time. Skills.
Yes.
You have skills.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
There are things you can come and teach women how to walk.
It's
how
true.
to dress,
how
to sit.
Yeah.
There are so many things you can teach. Come and sit with the kids and read for them.
Yes.
Right? So you have skills. Maybe you're an economist and you're like, how do I impart my skills to this organization?
True.
And we're telling you this is how you impart your skills. Do give us at a micro level. You are at a macro. Give us at a micro.
Yes.
Teach these women how to save. Teach these women how to do something, how to run their businesses. Sometimes you find that, yes, I've given you 300. And then you've sold for 300 and then you ate all of it.
Exactly.
Because you had so many programs.
Yes,
so
yes.
all those things. So, and then lastly, you can donate in kind or in money. These things need money.
Yes.
We need money. And when people ask, why are you fundraising? We need money.
Yes.
You cannot go to the police station empty-handed.
No.
You know, the police will tell me my car has no fuel. I need, even me, myself, where is the fuel? Yeah, this is not, it's charity work. So they just, so that's how you come.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Again, I'm personally challenged. I have been slacking, but I'm truly, truly challenged. And I think my greatest struggle was exactly where to get the information. But I think when you search for it, it comes to you.
It comes to
so happy to also, again, donate our skills. And I'll see you on the side. But I am so, so challenged. And I hope also the community has been challenged. And what I've come to appreciate is that people who actually have way less happen to be the greatest givers.
True.
It's so funny how like everything works. And that should send a message. But my takeaway is, as a woman, as a daughter, as a wife, have something for yourself.
Yes.
Because that is going to be your ticket to withdraw from not only the existing abuse, because abuse happens if you're not empowered, you don't know how to live, you don't know what to do. Then also for your children, if you're able to provide the bare minimum, they will not fall to be, preyed upon. And I think keeping the statistics, and in as much as 2 out of 100 goes, I can see why you say that's your why. Like the statistics have completely changed. And on behalf of the Nest, I want to truly thank you for making time to talk about this and what your organization does, and also to open up to us. So we hope this is not the end, at least with the Nest, But personally, I am definitely challenged. You can hold me on to that.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And be safe and keep up the good work, Njeri.
Right.
Great. At home, I hope you've been inspired, you've been informed, you've seen whatever you have. It doesn't matter who you are. The little you have, there's somebody who might need it. Like Njeri said, time, donations, and also your skills. There's always room. And you can always look for Usikimye on Google Maps. No more excuses. And please do go. And also, please, guys, let's not ride the wave of something negative happening. The same place good things come out of. And we've seen Kenyans showing up. We know that it can overpower the bad. So can we make that decision? I've been your host, Maureen Waititu. Until next time, it's a good night for me. Bye-bye.